All right. Well, you know, people who answer Elizabeth are usually clubless. Otherwise, they lose the crown. So I will not allow Elizabeth Omoruyi to dampen my spirit with the woeful performance of Arsenal this evening. So let's get back on the line. Now, Ramadan is described as a gentle rain that nourishes the soul, while Eid is the rainbow that colors our world with hope, love, and great expectations. I do hope you had the best of both ends, especially with the extra day holidays. So, our package tonight will be tailor-made for Eid. And so let's begin from Borno, the home of peace, where Eid al-Fitr was celebrated with a colorful grand procession and was led by the Waziri of Borno and district heads. Now, the Daba of Kanem was organized by the Shehu of Borno, Abubakar ibn Umar Gabai al-Amin al-Kanemi, and it showcased the vibrant tapestry of diverse cultural expressions from across Borno and beyond. Our correspondent Mohammed Goni reports that the Vice President, Senator Kashim Shettima, was the special guest of honor at the event.
The Kanem Borno Derby drew participants from near and far, reflecting its extensive influence and significance on both domestic and international levels. The event saw the presence of distinguished guests, including the Vice President Kashim Shettima, Governor Bagana Umar Azlim, and other prominent figures. The contingent of the Shehu of Borno, that include Waziri of Borno, district heads, princes, and other title holders, rode majestically on decorated horses, all dressed in beautiful regalia and dancing to the rhythm of the royal band, to the admiration of the Vice President, the State Governor, and other dignitaries present. Shehu Borno was the first to pay his respect to the Vice President and the State Governor, who acknowledged the royal greetings amidst cheers. As soon as the Shehu took his seat, the Waziri, district heads, princes, and other title holders took turns to declare their loyalty to the Shehu and pay their respect to the dignitaries.
We express our gratitude to Almighty Allah for witnessing this Eid and Durbar celebrations. Our sincere thanks to the Vice President Shettima, Governor Zulum, and all attendees. We pray for peace and unity in Borno State and Nigeria as a whole.
The Shehu of Borno extended Eid greetings to the people of Borno, wishing them joyous and blessed celebration.
We are grateful to Almighty Allah for granting us the opportunity to witness this Eid and Durbar celebrations. I would like to appeal to the Vice President to prioritize provision of employment opportunities for the youths.
The Durbar event showcased an exceptional display of cultural heritage.
Splendid there. Now, unforgettable moments create lasting memories, and that's the experience of those who've witnessed this year's Eid al-Fitr in Dutse, Jigawa State. Mohammed Musa Askira takes a look at how such rich cultural festivities can be used to foster unity and love among people of diverse cultural backgrounds.
A look at the attire of these horse riders, the turbans, different in colors, the decorations on the horses and their dances, to the rhythm of the royal trumpet and drums, make the spectators want to watch more and more of it. Arranged in order of seniority, the chieftaincy title holders, accompanied by their subjects, trooped in one after another to pay homage to the state governor, Mala Umar Namadi, with the emir coming last on the queue. The carnival-like event attracted different people from within and outside Nigeria to catch a glimpse at the elegance of the cultural display. Manuel Alberto and his sister Gemma from Madrid, Spain, were among those who graced the occasion.
I think Nigeria has lots of cultural expressions which are very authentic, that have not been changed during these years. So I think we are looking for something special, for something authentic. Diversity is the point that gathers us together. I mean, we don't have, globalization is good for some things, but it's not good for other things. I think the identity maybe Nigeria has at this moment is quite important to be visited, to be shown to the world and well known.
I'm so glad to be here, believe me. For me, it's one of the most amazing things I ever seen. I love you. I love this country.
Adding color to the Durbar procession was the Jarawa people from Basa local government area of Plateau State. Governor Umar Namadi and the Emir of Dutse, Hamim Nuhu Senusi, in their speeches called for unity, love for one another, and continued prayers for the country for peace, security, and sustainable prosperity.
Very splendid indeed. And of course, it is said that, the lessons of Eid are really meant to unite us rather than divide us. And of course, we know that the best things in life are people that we meet, and of course, the places and the memories we make of all of those things. I told you tonight that our package is tailor-made for Eid, and the Durbar is arguably the most colorful horse parade event in the world, and it treasures northern Nigeria's cultural heritage. From Kano to Gombe to Katsina, the Durbar has evolved over the years. With each celebration of Eid al-Fitr, it encapsulates the building blocks of peaceful coexistence, growth and development that defines especially the Hausa Fulani society. In our next report, Emmanuel Akila says, in the Bubairo dynasty in Gombe State, the Salah Durbar has fused into modern governance system, all for prosperity.
The Salah festival provides that atmosphere of unity when the rich cultural heritage of the Bubairo dynasty, cherished by the people, comes to the fore. For a complete package of the tradition to be dished out, the Emirate Council designs a 4-day program. On Salah Day, there is the Hawan Salah, which is a Durbar that follows the congregational Eid prayers, with Governor Muhammad Inu Yahya and other top government officials joining the thousands of cultural enthusiasts at the Palace Arena to watch and receive greetings from the horse riders. The second day is set aside for all traditional title holders in the Emirate to pay homage on the Emir, observing customary Salah greetings to show loyalty and respect.
The traditional institution is a unifier of the people. It's an avenue through which every well-meaning individual can come and participate in building the community in terms of unity and support to the weak.
The Emir of Gombe, Abubakar Sheikh Abubakar III, leads members of the Emirate Council to Government House on the third day. It has always been a moment to exchange pleasantries, Salah gifts, and talk on concerted efforts of development.
Everybody is happy, and ahead of this, inshallah, we'll partake in agricultural activity to ensure that we restore the normal livelihood of Nigerians and put us back on track so that we move forward. We should be able to overcome all our challenges because we are one people and we have the resolve to overcome them.
The ancient Hawan Doshe practice comes on the fourth day. On this day, the Emir and entourage visit the correctional center to give the inmates a sense of belonging. Procession by the Emir's contingent continues, traversing selected streets for the Emir to meet with his people, cutting across communities of the low and high in the society, as well as ethnic settlers, fostering unity, love and brotherhood as taught during the holy month of Ramadan.
All right. Now, the history of annual Salah celebration in the Daura of Katsina State will never be complete without mentioning, of course, the famous traditional Durbar known as Hawan Magajia in Hausa language. Now, it is a horse riding event which is attracting many people from within and outside the state. Hosseini Suleiman captures the sight and sounds of this exciting moment for Newsline.
This is an annual event which is part of the royalty in Daura. It is an avenue for the traditional title holders alongside other skilled horse riders to ensure their best contributions that will add color to the historic moment. Emir of Daura Umar Farooq Umar has led his council members and other horse riders round to some major streets of Daura, receiving pleasantries from his subject and terminated at his palace. Daura town has indeed stands alive as its sons and daughters, including those living in abroad, took part of the celebrations with their families and friends. The joy of the reunion is another angle of the story that many said it will forever linger in their minds.
I feel honored to be here on the invitation of His Excellency the Governor of Katsina State, and I am impressed by the Durbar and by all the traditions as they are preserved here in the best possible way. I think that also these cultural events like this one only shows that Bulgaria and Nigeria and Katsina in particular are deeply connected because we have almost the same traditions.
And we congratulate His Highness the Emir of Daura for this wonderful display of culture. And we want to assure His Royal Highness and the entire people of the Daura Emirate and Katsina Emirate that the government will do everything possible to maintain the heritage and to maintain the rich culture that we have in the state.
Haumagaja, as the name implies, is usually observed on the second day after Salah to recognize the contributions of women to the existence of the Daura kingdom.
It depends on the availability of the horses. Without horses, we cannot ride. But I was surprised. The number of horses that we are able to get is much more than expected. So it's very successful celebration.
The event has provided opportunity for the Emir, the district head and other title holders to visit the Magajia and extend pleasantries with praise as ordained in the culture. Magajia is a title given to one of the daughters of the royal father, usually to the eldest daughter, and is being respected in Daura for the roles Daura plays in the establishment of the kingdom.
All right, now the Durbar is a very colorful horse riding event, and of course it cuts across all the northern states of Nigeria, and it is held usually at the end of the Ramadan. It's usually associated with Salah. We have a few more Salah reports coming up just before we break out for other stories, but for now, let's break out for commercials. All right, welcome back. You're watching Newsline. Now, Hawambalke is another age-long tradition of cultural display celebrated at the peak of Eid al-Fitr. It is splendid in color and has been in existence for more than a century. According to Anwar Haliru, it is held a day after Eid al-Fitr in Katsina State. Now, the event is not just paying homage to the state governor. It also involves hundreds of people led by the emir and his district heads in a colorful procession, accompanied by, of course, horse riders and traditional dancers to exchange Eid pleasantries, again with the state governor.
Historians trace the Hawambariki festivity to the reign of first emir of Katsina in the Sulubawa dynasty, late Muhammadu Duko in 1906. Till then it becomes tradition from the era of colonial masters to native authority and subsequently to the governors of Katsina State from 1987. The essence was to pay homage to the governor of the state by the emir in a procession of horse riders, dancers and warriors exhibiting their skills. For residents of Katsina, the spectacular Durbar procession, which manifests the rich cultural heritage, is surely a unifying factor that brings together every strata of the society, irrespective of religious or ethnic differences.
I see that here you love them, your traditions, the way your arrangements are unfolding, give a testament that Katsina is a state wealthy of traditions.
Hawan Sallah in Katsina State is the best in Nigeria.
It's the Eid, marking the end of Ramadan. We thank Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala for having seen this in good health and faith.
I call on our people to really assist the government and authorities of any level, of any kind. Whatever they find unusual, they should, as a matter of urgency, inform the authority.
So we have every cause to rejoice today, and it's part of the tradition.
The royal procession of the colorful horse riders adorned with captivating costumes pay homage to the emir sitting along with Governor Dukorakda and other dignitaries at the grandstand.
We'll do everything humanly possible to support the emir to ensure that we restore the culture and the tradition of our people.
The occasion is being seen as potential of tourist destination to boosting socio-economic development of the state.
Now, you know, Salah, one festival that brings many Muslim brothers and sisters from across and within the country together. Now, this year's celebration in Bauchi State was quite unique, and I'm told that, of course, it attracted various colorful traditions, and again, the Durbar procession was very prominent. Let's hear from Anwar Abdullahi.
This is part of the cultural event showcased during the annual traditional festival known as Hawambariki by the Emir of Bauchi, Rilwanu Suleiman Adamu. The traditional activity is aimed at promoting and preserving the ancestries for the future generation.
It was started in 1904 after the British occupation of northern Nigeria. In those days, the emirs and his interests, they used camel, donkey, horses for a ride. To maintain this heritage, the emir and his interests, they stick onto that Durbar activity so that the unborn generation do not forget what their ancestors do during their time.
The whole idea is for the transitional institutions to pay homage to the executive arm of government, to as a sign of respect to the governor and the government of Bauchi State, which is what we another ritual that we perform.
This historic horse riding by the Bauchi Emir, his court and other traditional title holders is terminating at the government house, where an interaction by the two parties is focusing on the developmental issues.
What we are doing in Bauchi State is to make sure we change the face of the state. We have changed everything to be for Bauchi. I sleep and wake up with Bauchi in our mind, and that of the Emir and all our cabinet members. During the short period of my last tenure, we built over 1,000 hospitals and clinics.
Hawan Bariki of the year 2024 is the 108th Dava procession by the famous Bauchi Emirate.
All right, so we will break away from Eid al-Fitr celebrations with this last story from Caleb Goching, and he says he reports on what he says is an uncommon initiative by some non-Muslim youths in a community in Jos.
Anglo-Jos is a community located along the popular Yakubu Gowon Expressway, a cosmopolitan area with a convergence of people from all walks of life. It could be recalled that the fraternity that hitherto existed between adherents of the major religions in this community was punctured during one of the series of unrest in Jos, with many properties destroyed. However, there are indications that those broken relationships are being mended, especially with the recent visit of some Christian youths who provided free barbing and hairdressing services to indigent Muslim children during the Salah.
We did this because we felt as Christians we need to coexist with our Muslim siblings because we are all one. That's why we are happy that we were able to do what we did, and then the children are really happy.
Some of them they cannot afford to pay. I did that to help them so that at least they will look good for the Salah.
This will indeed foster to a harmonious and a united community, particularly in the Plateau State. We've had so many crises in the back. I think this will foster peace.
There is no problem now. May God strengthen our bond of unity.
Yes, Alhaji is saying he is happy that just came because it gave him the looks he really wanted for the Salah. One of those with a very strong tie with Anglo-Jos is the family of the former Director General of the Nigerian Television Authority, Malam Yakubu Ibn Mohammed.
That development of some young Christian men and women coming over from their side to, give some grooming to young boys and girls from the mainly Muslim side of Anglo-Jos, so gratifying because it brought back memories of the way things were for us. There wasn't any demarcation between Christians and Muslims. This is a development that we will support in the future because that is the way to go, not only for Anglo-Jos, but I dare say for the whole of Plateau State. Crisis does nobody any good.
I must really thank the inhabitants of Anglo-Jos for maintaining the peace. And we don't know tomorrow, but I think in the foreseeable future, now that the younger people have imbibed the culture of living together and, providing a shield to one another, whether it's for Christians or for Muslims, I would really hesitate to think that any major crisis will affect Anglo-Jos.
It is the desire of members of this community and indeed others who have come under the unfortunate challenges of crisis that the good old days of peaceful coexistence would return for the good of all.
I'm very emotional, and I think this is the kind of reports we must encourage. We must really appreciate those youths, and I say amen to the prayers of everyone. Thank you, Caleb, for bringing this report for us. Let's change the gear now and to Ogoniland we go. Now we all know Ogoniland is a major oil producing area in the Niger Delta. The story of that area is still very fresh in our memories, characterized with oil spills, cleanup efforts by successive governments, and of course the aftermath crisis of the killing of Ogoni 9. Now, recurring land dispute further plunged the communities in Ogoniland into deeper, unforgettable devastation. Unfortunately, most of those communities have yet to recover from the devastation. C is one of those communities in Kana local government area where vegetation and life are begging for attention. The source of livelihood itself has become a major cause of concern. And Ijoma Ugweke visited the community, and this is what she brought back for Newsline.
The journey to Sea community, which is about 60 kilometers from Port Harcourt metropolis, was a kind of adventure leading to an uncertain destination. Our team eventually arrived at the waterfront, which is reportedly about 4 hours to the Republic of Cameroon by speedboat. According to some members of the community, the waterfront used to be a beehive of activities until communal crisis that led to destruction of the market, many ancestral homes and structures, leaving many members of the community to find refuge in neighboring communities.
We do sell our goods we have from the land, and Andon people used to bring their own, and canoe and boats. We do transaction. But after the crisis, when the crisis came, everybody ran away.
We're supposed to have a jetty there that ship can enter there and upload goods, so that many of those things the youth can be employed.
With massive arable land and abundance of natural resources, however, lacks reasonable government presence. Little or no attention has been paid to education. C is known to be the first community in Ogoniland with an estimated 10,000 population who were mostly farmers and fishermen. The community regent, Benedict Nalo Azin, regrets the crisis that rocked the agrarian life of the community.
If not because of our age of working, that road would have been closed down. If you go to this our community, we have all this oil, this thing. It's one of the richest oil well.
We have vast area that you can pump any amount of sand needed for any project that requires sand, but no facility to do it, no road, no dredger can enter here, lack of health facility.
From all indications, C community has a long way to go to recover from its losses, but members are hopeful that the attention of government authorities and private investors will beam light to bring back the traffic of businesses, particularly seafood, for which the community was well known.
Ijoma Ugweke, many thanks for bringing us this story from Sin in Kana local government area of Rivers State. And when we come back, we'll be taking you to the conference town, that's Lokoja. Don't go away. All right, welcome back. If you've just joined us, you're watching Newsline on the network service of the NTA. Now, the scriptures say a man may not make himself king. Only the blessing of him who holds the kingship can elevate a man to that high place. Now, Ibrahim Ohamodu Kabir Mekafi IV, I beg your pardon, is the latest mortal to be elevated as the new Megari of Lokoja. The celebration in his honor attracted gathering unseen for over 4 decades in Lokoja. And our correspondent, Jonathan Omajale, says that the event demonstrated renewed cultural pride and unity, emphasized the community's commitment to sustainable peace and development.
Destiny intervened in the life of His Royal Highness Alhaji Ibrahim Muhammad Kabir Mekarfi IV, recently anointed Megari of Lokoja. Despite his youth, He embraced leadership thrust upon him by traditional kingmakers following his father's passing.
He is the people's choice, and he came with full determination to revive the custom and tradition of the community.
The grand reception, organized by the Lokoja Government Traditional Council and the Lokoja Traditional Title Holders Council, celebrated his ascension as the Megiri of Lokoja, the conclusion of Ramadan and peaceful coexistence.
The last time we have witnessed such congregation of people from different aspects of life as we used to be. It's about 40 years. That was when the late Megiri Etsuyaya Mahmoud Mekarfi was the Megiri of Lokoja.
This is the end of Ramadan, and we think that the people of Lokoja should give him a reception, formally welcoming him to the fold. Everybody knows very well that we are very pleased to have a new Megiri of our choice.
In my family, we have Muslims, we have Christians, the same family, and we coexist.
The new Megiri is somebody who is highly loved by his people. He's a man who is also very humble.
In fact, he has done very well within the little period he has been appointed as Megiri of Lokoja.
Alhaji Ibrahim Muhammad Kabir Mekarfi IV reaffirmed his commitment to peace and development and urged stakeholders to uphold his father's legacy.
Our next story is the tabanning of 5 sons of the Adamawa Emirate. Amongst them, former senior special assistant to the former president Muhammadu Buhari on humanitarian affairs, Dr. Umar Buba Binder, as Mufti Adamawa. Simon Asha captured the colorful and regal ceremony.
The Adamawa Emirate, a revered traditional institution, is known to uphold its integrity and cultural values for over 200 years. The Emirate was a behalf of activities with the turbaning of 5 of its illustrious sons, including the former senior special assistant to former President Muhammadu Buhari on humanitarian affairs, Dr. Umar Buba Bintel, as Babba Mufti Adamawa. Babba Mufti Adamawa, meaning one who settles dispute in a community, was conferred on Dr. Umar Buba Bintel by Lamido Adamawa Muhammadu Barkinde Ali Mustafa because of his numerous contributions to the national development and growth of the Adamawa Emirates. The occasion presided over by the Waziri Adamawa, who is also the former Vice President of Nigeria, Atiku Abubakar, tasked the traditional title holders to uphold the values of the Emirates with high extent.
The honor is based on your track record of achievements.
It is an ample opportunity for me to radiate my skills and competencies to see that all these young people that you see are actually given an opportunity for life. And that, I think, is the greatest assignment that I could ask for at this stage of my life.
A Klisa was also held to further showcase the rich cultural heritage of the Emirate, with praise singers and drummers having a field day. A grand reception and Wankan Sarota were also organized.
Supported with the other title members so that the green development Adamawa
performer. I'm sure he will drop this particular position. Whatever that is expected of that position.
Dr. Bindir is my mentor.
We are confident that Dr. Bindu will deliver on his new traditional title.
Kuma I believe wannan politics ya sa Lamido ya ga cewa ya kamata a bashi wannan leadership.
All right, welcome back. Let's quickly take another commercial break. When we come back, we'll now bring you a celebration of lives for some loved ones. Now, the love of a mother is powerful and profound. It leaves an indelible mark when they are no more. Former Minister of Youth and Sports Development, Sunday Dari, will certainly cherish Mama's gentle memories throughout his lifetime, as he bade her farewell in the ancient city of Ogbomoso. Late Mama Ruth Adeniu Dari Ni Babalola was laid to eternal rest over the weekend amidst a memorable celebration of life in her honor.
Past and present ministers, Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, former Oyo State Deputy Governors, including former interim national chairman of APC, Chief Bisi Akande, among others, dignitaries converged on Sabo Baptist Church Ogbomoso to join the former Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dari, for the burial of his late mother, Madam Ruth Adeniyi Dari, who died at the age of 92. In his homily, the President Nigerian Baptist Convention, Reverend Dr. Israel Akanji, while celebrating mothers, said childbearing makes women stronger and complete, hence the need for children to appreciate and take good care of their mothers when they are alive. He advised Nigerians, irrespective of their position in life, to shun worldly affairs but seek qualification for eternal kingdom. President Bola Tinubu, represented by the Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, while praying that God grants the disease a peaceful rest, assure Nigerians of better tomorrow.
Things will continue to improve as we move into a dry season harvest. Prices, by the grace of God, foodstuff prices will come down, will be affordable, and will be in the market.
Oyo State Governor Seyi Makinde, former interim national chairman APC Chief Bisi Akande, wife of former late Oyo State Governor Kemi Akala and others in their tribute, said the disease fortress lifestyle can be seen in the lives of our children. At a special Thanksgiving, dignitaries also joined former minister and other children to celebrate the life of the matriarch of Dari family. The remains of the deceased were later interred at her residence here. The son and former Minister of Youth and Sport Development, Sunday Dari, described her passing as an irreplaceable loss.
Very strict, but most especially extremely prayerful. I learned that even when you sing is a powerful prayer. We're happy she has received God's mercy. Our prayers that we also, just like she has received God's mercy, we will also receive God's mercy.
Guests who include the Shombo Ogbomoso land Oba Gandhi Afolabi Olaoye, Olu of Iwo Oba Rashid Akabi, wife of the late Oyo State Governor Florence Ajimabi, among others, were later entertained.
And the whole essence of man is to glorify God in our lifetime. Unfortunately, we have limited time on earth to do so. It therefore behoves everyone to plan appropriately where to spend eternity. Now, this reminder by the clergy at the funeral service of late Olumoyiwa Kinoshi in Lagos, who was president of the Ibubi College Old Boys Association, does not only apply to the congregation, but to all humanity. And Diana Ajali brings us highlights from that funeral ceremony.
Special rendition by Dr. Folanri Williams at the Evening of Tributes, where fellow Igbobians,
close associates and family converged to celebrate the life and times of one of their own, heralded the funeral activities of the late Chief Olumuyiwa Kinoshi. Other close associates also shared memories of the legacy Olumuyiwa left behind.
As the immediate past president of ICOBA, he demonstrated immense panache on the history of our various legacy schools, not just Ikobi College.
Suki, which was his nickname, you know, his life was about projects. What are we building in the school next?
Ensure that in your own little corner, if you are the one that is managing people, resources, ensure that you do it with the fear of God.
The lying state at Holy Trinity Anglican Church, Ebutero, Lagos.
So do everything to glorify God.
His remains were later conveyed to Ikoyi Cemetery, where he was interred. A reception in his honor was held to appreciate girls and the Igbobians for standing by Olumuyiwa while alive and now with his family. Olumuyiwa Kinoshi was not just a good father to them alone, but to everyone who came in contact with him during his lifetime.
In the last moment he died, we were together. And as a matter of fact, he's not just a brother, he's my best friend.
I'm going to really miss him, but he was really great. He loved his community. He was a man of the people. It didn't matter your background, where you were from.
The times I talked to him, he was nothing but welcoming. You know, gave me just excellent advice.
The late Chief Olumuyiwa was born in 1955 to the royal family of Kinoshi of Ijeun in Abeokuta, Ogun State, and the Ogumbiyi family of Isaleko, Lagos Island. Suki, as he was fondly called, began his international banking career as an account officer and investigation officer with Standard Chartered Bank PLC, New York. He later held several positions in the banking industry in the global world. Late Olumuyiwa Kinoshi was also opportuned to serve as a two-term president of the Igbobi College Old Boys Association. He died at the age of 68. He left behind his wife, children, and relatives.
And finally, the demise of late Ezinne Florence Iwanyanwu has been described as a colossal loss of a rare gem, and her absence will be greatly felt, especially by her family and community. Now, that was the view of many who paid their last respect as she was laid to rest at her husband's compound in Dike Naofi in Isialambano local government area of Imo State.
Dike Naofi community in Isialambano local government area of Imo State witnessed an unusual crowd of sympathizers who came to commiserate with the family of late Pa Anthony Iwanyanwu as they bid final farewell to their mother, late Ezinne Florence Iwanyanwu, a woman many described as a bridge builder, peacemaker. In his words of exhortation, the parish priest of St. Francis Catholic Church, Dike Naofi, reminded the living of the need to live a lifestyle that will prepare for them treasures in heaven.
Live a life of holiness, because one day all of us will go back to our Creator to answer the call, as Mama have done today.
The remains of the deceased were later interred in her husband's compound after graveside rites.
A woman that adds value to people's life. You can't come across my mom and you will not be impacted in any way.
She's a very loving mother, one that cannot be replaceable. She was very nice to everybody in this community. She's a great mom. She's the kind of person that accommodates everybody.
She was very kind. She was very amiable.
Wonderful woman, very peaceful woman.
One of the things I like her most is that she tries to carry everyone along.
A mother in Israel. She has touched so many hearts.
Some sympathizers encouraged the bereaved family to take solace in the fact that their mother lived an impactful life.
Mama, their mother, and our wife lived an exemplary life.
I shall continue to pray for them, that God who consoled me will also console them.
I ask the Almighty God to grant them mercy.
Late Ezinne Florence Iwanyanwu died at the age of 78 and will be greatly missed by her children, including the Chief Secretary, Roslyn Iwagu, and Assistant Manager Programs, Christiana Okeleke, both of NTA.
All right, a good name is what we will leave behind when we depart this earth. And that's where we end Newsline tonight. But just before I go, I'd like to appreciate all the Newsline crew, everyone who's contributed to bringing this program to you, and of course, to you as well for staying with us. So I won't say goodbye, as I said, I'll just say hello, have an adventurous week ahead, and by God's grace, we'll gather here next Sunday for another edition of Newsline. From me and the production crew, good night.